Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Heronbrook Farm Kitchen. It is fantastic to have you here as always. And today we're going to be making a chocolate roll with a Chantilly cream filling. Absolutely delicious. Okay, let's talk about this chocolate roll. I mean, what's not to like? You have got a beautiful, soft, kind of a Genoise sponge. It's got no melted butter in. You have got a delicious, pale, light, vanilla-y Chantilly cream, kind of a Chantilly cream in the middle. It's incredibly easy to make. Literally takes you 30 minutes, beginning to end, and you can put this on the table. Your kids are gonna love it. The rest of your family's gonna love it. Let's jump in and take a look at the ingredients. So first of all, for the roll itself, which is a kind of Genoise sponge, you're gonna need 75 grams of caster sugar, 3 medium eggs, 25 grams of cocoa powder, and 50 grams of plain flour. And then to make the cream, the Chantilly cream, which will flavour with vanilla, you're gonna need about 250 ml of double cream, 2 dessert spoonfuls of icing sugar. You can use caster sugar if you haven't got any icing sugar, and then a good squeeze of vanilla extract. So let's jump in and get it mixed. Okay, so I've broken the eggs into the bowl of the stand mixer. That's gonna go straight on, and we're gonna use the whisk attachment, and we will just start getting this whisked up. And you wanna go quite fast with this. So let that combine briefly, and then you can go in with the sugar. And basically, we're going to mix this on a high speed for 2 or 3 minutes until it goes really light, really full of air, and really fluffy. So you can see it now at the start. It's still quite yellow. It's just starting to bubble up, starting to maybe go slightly paler, and we just keep it running. There's no need to touch it. It will be beautiful. So you can see that's been whipped now for about a minute. Much paler, much fluffier, much lighter. But we'll keep going for about another minute. So we're almost done now. The more air and volume you can get into it at this stage, the lighter your sponge is going to be. But actually, for a roll, which we're making today, you don't want it too light, because if it's a little bit denser, it will give it a little bit more strength for when we roll it up. So I'm going to turn that off now. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go in with the flour and the cocoa powder, and I'm going to sieve those in. And I'm going to do it nice and gently, because the last thing I want to do is knock all of this air out. I'll just use a spoon to help force that through. The cocoa powder does tend to block the pores of the sieve a little bit. There we are, that's that done. So now, using a spatula, you can use a whisk, we're just going to fold carefully this flour. It won't want to go in to start with. This flour and cocoa powder into the egg and sugar mixture. And it's almost like they're opposites at the moment. They just don't want to combine. But if you're patient with it, don't be too rough with it, it will go together. And you do tend to get lumps of the powder. And you've just got to work, keep working, be patient with it, be gentle with it. It will eventually all come together. Classically, you're supposed to do this with a metal spoon, but to be honest, I find this really cheap red plastic spatula absolutely the best thing for all of the meringues and everything that we make here in the kitchen. Okay, that's looking pretty good now. So you are going to need a Swiss roll tin. Dimensions will be in the recipe as usual. And all I've done with this is I've smeared a bit of butter around the edge, and I've just stuck a piece of greaseproof paper on there. And all I'm going to do here is just very gently pour this mixture in. Just make sure we get all of the bits out. And then just using your spatula, you just want to ease it into the corners. It will settle when it goes in the oven, but you do want to try and get it nice and even if you can. And just keep turning the tray or the Swiss roll tin, and you'll eventually just keep working it round, get it beautiful. There we go. So the oven has been preheating to 180 degrees. I've turned it off because it's noisy. I'm going to turn it back on, let it come back up to temperature, and we'll get this straight in. Okay, into the oven. Middle of the oven, 180 degrees, 10 minutes, and we'll get it out. Okay, time has just gone off, time to get it out. 10 minutes, that's all it's had. Look at that, absolutely stunning. So we are going to sit this on the cooling rack now for 10 minutes, just to allow it to slightly shrink back from the sides, and then we'll turn it out. So I'll see you in 10 minutes. Okay, that's had its 10 minutes. It's pulled back slightly from the sides. Because I made a bit of a mess, I have got a little bit of crispiness going on here. So I'm just going to run a plastic spatula around the edges. So that should be fine now. And then very important, you need to get a sheet of greaseproof paper and put that on your cooling rack, something like that, because this top surface here will stick to a cooling rack and you'll end up with a bit of a mess. So we just tip that on there, give it a bang, and then out it will pop. And there we go, beautiful. So we can now peel off this base gently. There we go, get rid of that. Chef's perks, there's always a little bit that comes off at the side. Oh, that is delicious. So, oh, mouthful. So, to make your roll, you actually want this slightly warm. So I'm just going to leave this now for probably another 15 minutes or so, and then I'm going to come back here, assuming I haven't eaten it all, and we'll make the Chantilly cream, spread it on and roll it up. So I'll see you in about 10 minutes. Okay, let's get on and make the Chantilly cream, or the vanilla cream. So the cream's in a small bowl. It's actually a bowl with a rubber base because I'm going to use this mixer. If you haven't got one with a rubber base, just stick it on a tea towel. I'm going to go in there with the icing sugar. As I said earlier, you can use caster sugar. And then I'm just going to use a normal hand whisk just to combine that. And then we'll go in with a generous squirt of vanilla. There we go. Just give that a mix. Beautiful. Can obviously whisk this by hand, but it's quite hard work. So we tend to use the electric whisk for doing it. So the consistency is quite important. You want it so that it's holding, but not overly stiff. And that is looking just beautiful. Okay, so to assemble the roll, the first thing we need to do is to pop a clean tea towel down on the workstation. And then using, let's get it the right way around, using the piece of greaseproof paper, just pull that into the centre of the tea towel. So I've just tidied up the edges with a knife, sharp knife, because it was a bit tatty when I took it out of the tin. And I've also used the knife just to make a slight indentation on the right hand side here. And that will help us roll it later on. But all I'm going to do now is just with a spatula, I'm going to get some of this lovely cream spread out all over it. It is tempting to want to go and put a little bit too much cream on here. You want to leave a good inch on each side because it will squirge out. And something like this little palette knife is very handy just for spreading the cream round. So we just spread that round like that. Fantastic. Right, so I'll spin it round so you can see. So we've got the little indentation here, and just using the tea towel and the cling film, you want to bring it over and start your roll. And then mine that out of the way. Has slightly fractured, that's the problem. If you leave it too long, it will slightly break. And then just using look at that. Using the tea towel for your hands, just roll that over. I've made a little bit of a mess there. Fold that over, no one will know. And then just again using the piece of parchment, we can just ease it onto the board. It's quite delicate. Looks amazing. So, ladies and gentlemen, I give you the beautiful chocolate Genoise roll. It looks absolutely stunning. You can decorate the top if you like with some little curls of chocolate, some icing sugar. To be honest, I'm not going to bother. I just think that looks amazing. It will taste great. You're going to love it. So let's cut into it and take a look. So just with a serrated knife, carefully cutting there. And there we go. Hold it up for you to see. Incredibly proud of that. It looks absolutely amazing. So that's it. Chocolate roll done. I hope you love it. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you try and make this at home. It's incredibly quick, incredibly simple. If you've enjoyed it, do consider subscribing, give us a like, and we'll see you on the next one. Have a great day.